Gina Carano, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Oh man, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. So I get nervous before every single one of these interviews.
Oh, good. So do I.
You do too?
Oh my gosh, yeah. So that makes me feel better.
Yeah. I'll procrastinate. I'll go downstairs and tell you that I'm reviewing the notes, which I'm not. I'm just trying to get over my nerves. But so one of the things we do is just a little warm up segment before we get into the
So
weeds.
warming up. Okay.
Yeah,
Warming up.
like a little stretch.
Mm-hmm.
And so, professional MMA fighter, actress. Now you're suing Disney. Got a hell of a name behind you, and so people always want to know, how do you protect yourself?
Mm-hmm.
So, what are some things you carry on you every day, if you carry anything?
Well, I think just like what we saw with Trump, how he just turned his head, I feel like that was such a God moment. So I think first God, he allows things to happen or he says no. And so that's most important and first, like that's first. So doesn't it say something like, do not fear 365 times in the Bible? And I guess there's 365 days in the year, right? So do not live in fear. And I've been really like leaning into that, if it's your time to go, it's your time to go. And I've had such a wonderful, beautiful, impactful life. And then on the other side of my brain, I'm like, well, definitely love to carry a gun. I'm not going to be able to speak your gun language or anybody's gun language. All I know is how to use it. But the 6 Hour guys, they gave me like one this big, little tiny one I can carry in my purse with like one of those targets or those little red dots in it, so you can really get specific with it.
They gave that to you how many years ago?
That was about 4.
Do you like it?
I love it.
How many?
I love having it on me. I mean, I hate that like so many people like are anti-gun, but I know mixed martial arts, and I feel very confident in uncomfortable situations. Like a lady tripped out at me at Target the other day, and she. This is Montana. She probably like rustles cattle. I mean, she looks like she rustles cattle. And she was like 6'3". My mom was there, and she had to weigh around like 300 pounds, but like stocky. And I was like, oh man, like, I don't know. Sometimes these people, I don't know, are attracted to you, and they see something in you, and it just like, I don't know if it's a spiritual thing, but she started like trying to start trouble, and I just got in between me and my mom. I know she was struggling with schizophrenia because I've had family members who've had schizophrenia, and so I knew there was a lot going on there. And
You've had family members that have schizophrenia?
Mm-hmm.
So how do you de-escalate something like that?
I used to not be very good at that, but you just can't. You can't let it in. You can't take it personally. You don't recognize the behavior. You just kind of pretend like you just keep going, like that didn't happen. And it's hard, especially when you just kind of de-escalate, you keep the family dinner going. And the thing with schizophrenia is there's like a spectrum of it, and that person thinks that they're having a conversation, just like the lady at Target. She was having a separate conversation in her head to me that we weren't having. And Wow. She was making it up in her head. And so I'm sitting there thinking, oh gosh, like, this is how I'm going to get her. I'm going to take her legs out first so I can have, like, she was on her knees. We might be the same size. And then I'll get around to her back. And then I just thinking, oh man, then there's going to be like some sort of Target video camera that like catches this, and TMZ is going to get it. And, what if my shirt like flips up? And I just think all of these like silly things that you're thinking. But I told my mom to go sit down in the corner, and she's like, Gina, and I'm like, I got this. Because at the same time, I want these people to feel people shrink back from them. And I didn't want them to feel shrunken back from him or intimidated from him. And so I stood next to her the entire time while we got our coffee from Starbucks. And I didn't move away from her, which I think she's had a lot of people move away from her. And she was looking at me like I was insane. But I wanted her to, get used to somebody not shrinking back from her. And then so my name, both our coffees came out, and I just looked at her, and I think, she said something about having a child while she was screaming these weird things. And I just felt, my gosh, this child that has to have this mom come home in this state.
Man.
So, and then there was another case at one of the fan expos where this lady was going from booth to booth and screaming and yelling. And, I have to have extra security put on me anyways because I get threats, the extra threats, and since I got canceled. And so this lady was going from booth to booth and freaking all these celebrities out. And then not enough to where they wanted to kick her out, but she was right there. And then they're like, oh gosh, she's in Gina's line, And so she was in my line, she waited in my line, and she got up to the front. She's trying to control herself, and there's like 5 security guards around behind her that are just super nervous. And I was like, can I sign something from you? And she's like, yes, yeah, sign. And I was like, okay, so I signed it. And I was like, is there anything else I can get for you? And she said, no. And I was like, how about a picture? Because I know she probably couldn't afford it. I was like, how about a picture? She's like, yes, okay, all right. And I was like, do you like this one? She's like, no, that one. I was like, okay, let's sign that. And I was like trying to condition her to, okay, you're going to be okay here. And all the security guards were like, what is she doing? I was like, would you like a selfie? And she said, yeah. And so then she came around the back of the thing, and I am not afraid of this, I feel just fine in myself. And, she came up and barely touched me, but touched me a little bit. And we took a selfie, and then I turned to her and I was like, thank you very much. And she's like, can I have a hug? And I was like, absolutely.
Man.
Because earlier on, I had tried to touch her hand and she jerked it back. And I was like, okay, no touching. Some people are sensitive. She was obviously struggling with a lot. And I just love doing these fan expos because so many people come up to my booth and they just come up crying. Mothers, people who have lost their jobs, people who are ill, people who have cancer, people who have lost loved ones. Anybody from the military, they love me. And it's a place where in these fan expos, we can all just enjoy art and make-believe characters. And nobody judges you for dressing like Princess Leia or Darth Vader, and it's just such a beautiful time to be around people, even in the places that they say are dangerous for me to go, more of the liberal cities. And I won't do well there. And, you're not going to make as much money there. And I don't care because I feel like it's important not to shrink away from those places so that they can see my face and they can see the lies, they can see the lies that they were fed. And so and what a blessing that is to be able to go and just give people hugs, sign things that they love. But I have to tell you, most of the people in my line, they're not necessarily all there for my characters. They're there for what happened in the last 3 and 4 years, and they're just there to thank me. And, I spend time with them, as much time as I can with each person.
Man, I was not expecting the warm-up to go in that direction. That's really cool to hear. That's really cool to hear. Do you feel like when you are in liberal cities, do you feel like the threat is higher?
Yeah, definitely.
Is it internal, or are you seeing things?
No, it's definitely, they've had, I've had plenty of stalkers. I've had plenty of, as soon as they canceled me they let out a statement on Twitter through Variety or something like that that said I was abhorrent and denigrating people off of their cultural and religious beliefs. As soon as they did that, just the whole media, Hollywood media, just flocked to my house and were knocking on my door and, hey, we need a statement. And we had a very open house without any gates on the outside. And so we had to close all the blinds. And then at the same time, unfortunately, which was a very strange thing, I was losing my hearing. I don't know if I looked online and it says that it's not like something that, losing your hearing isn't caused by stress, but I was under such an intense amount of stress. Like I think my body was reacting and I was losing my hearing. So I stuck inside my head for that first 6-7 days until I could get out to get to the doctors and see what was going on. And the only reason why I did that is because I had to fly to go see Ben Shapiro, and in order to get on a plane, you can't have your ears like all clogged up. But yeah, I mean, I've dealt with plenty of stalkers, plenty of, for my whole life, really, since I was a fighter. They've had to, one guy in England they had to put away before I got there. And I don't know. And so I had to have security sleep outside my, I was like, you guys don't have, I have a guest room. You guys don't have to sleep outside. And, they said, no, we'll sleep in our cars. And, we know the guys in your neighborhood. We've tracked him. We're following him. And then he ditched us and he lost us. And that was directly after I got canceled. So, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, it was intense.
Yeah, it sounds like it. We'll get more in the weeds on this. But I got some buddies over at 6 Hour, and they're still big fans of you.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, my buddy Jason over there, he's like the VP of marketing, and he wanted me to give this to you.
Really?
Yeah. So.
Oh, my gosh. Oh.
So that's the...
Another one, huh?
Another one. The upgrade.
Oh, my gosh.
So that's the P365 Macro Legion. It holds 17 rounds in the magazine plus one, so 18 rounds.
Oh my god!
They redid their entire optics line. The old ones were, they were okay, but these ones are a lot nicer.
This is beautiful.
So.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Thank you both.
You're welcome.
Thank you all. That is so sick.
You're welcome.
I'm so, this is a big deal. This is my second gun that's been ever given to me, and they're both SIGs.
So, yeah.
Starting a collection, I think.
There you go. There you go.
And I love it. I absolutely love it.
It's all metal, too.
Yeah.
Most guns are polymer nowadays, but they went all metal with that.
This is incredible.
A little something to take home on the ranch in Montana, right?
Oh, gosh. I love it so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
That's like Christmas. That's like the best Christmas gift.
Hell yeah. So, cool. So now we'll get into the interview.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. No matter where you're watching Shawn Ryan Show from, if you get anything out of this, please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, share this everywhere you possibly can. And if you're feeling extra generous, please leave us a review on Apple and Spotify podcasts.